Hello and welcome, guys. We continue talking about emotions, and today I want to talk with you about one particular emotional theory that can be really harmful. Let me summarize a bit first. That during our development, during us growing up, we develop different ideas about emotions, like that emotions are meaningful or meaningless, emotions are harmful or helpful, emotions are scary, not scary, and so on and so on. And these ideas about emotions are like our theories about emotions. And certain theories are very helpful for us, and certain theories are very harmful for us. And today we're going to talk about one particular harmful theory. It can be called like labeling or generalization of emotions. What it means. This happens when you take one emotion and generalize it and attribute it to your character trait. For example, I feel angry right now, and you turn it into I am an angry person. Or I feel shy right now, and you turn it into I am a shy person. Or I feel insecure right now, and you turn it into I am an insecure person. Or you feel scared right now, and you turn it into I am a weak person. And so on and so on and so on. So taking one emotion and generalizing it to your character is really harmful way to approach emotions. First of all, it's completely not true. Our emotions happen and then they are gone. They are temporary. They are kind of, they don't influence our character in huge ways. And secondly, this way we impose this limiting belief on ourselves. Like if you believe you're an evil person, you're gonna act in a certain ways. If you believe you're a shy person, you are gonna act in certain ways as well. Also, when we have this kind of assumption, when we have this kind of belief, we start seeing proof for it and completely not noticing anything that contradicts it. Like for example, if I believe that I'm a shy person, I will remember and notice all events, all instances in which I felt shy and in which I felt insecure. But I will completely ignore all cases in which I felt okay. Okay, so this is how beliefs work, and this is normal. I mean, it's not normal, but this is how it works. How it appears in our mind. First of all, thank you, parents, thank you, society. If you were raised by parents that were kind of labeling you as a person based on your emotions, there you have it. First core beliefs introduced. This will have consequences in adult life. Like, for example, you were angry as a child at some point, and like you felt anger, and your parent says to you that you are angry. Or as a child, you made certain behavior, you behaved in a certain way, and your parents label it as you are selfish. While in reality, maybe you behaved this way for completely different reasons. Maybe you just didn't think about something else. Maybe you were just so interested in trying new thing, and they call you selfish for this. So this kind of labeling of character is really, really harmful because, first of all, it shapes the way you see yourself, it shapes the way you see other people. You are more likely to try less new things because if you believe that every negative emotion or every mistake defines you as a person, you're likely to avoid trying new things. However, if you feel that feeling shy is fine, feeling angry is fine, feeling insecure is fine, then you can try new things and not feel bad about yourself. Um, so yes, this is very important. So I suggest you to do an exercise right now to write down a list of those labels that you heard about yourself in childhood. For example, um, that you are selfish, or that you are evil, or that you are overactive, or that you are shy, or that you are something else, basically. This can be both good and bad labels. By the way, good labels can also limit us. Like, for example, if we have this label that I am special, or I am super talented, or I am smarter than others, then it also can lead us to misery. Like, for example, avoiding to try new things so that we don't make mistakes, because making mistakes doesn't fit our idea that we are super talented or super smart and so on. So good labels are also not always good. Okay, so please make a list of those labels, and then now I direct you to my other playlist about basic cognitive skills and intermediate cognitive skills, where you can actually change these assumptions. And you can start with a small exercise of writing down all the instances, all the events in which you showed the opposite. Like, for example, if you have idea that I am a shy person, remember all cases in which you showed the opposite. It will be difficult to remember because once we have a certain belief, we see the world through this belief and we don't notice things that are contradictory to this belief. But please take your time and have really deep remembering session. You can also ask your friends, you can also ask some of your relatives or family friends to give you outside opinion. Maybe they remember things in which you were not shy, and so on. So this is very important. This way we kind of take away these limiting beliefs and understand that we can act in different ways. And in the same case, we can take away our overly positive beliefs. Like, for example, if you believe that you're super talented and super smart, if you try something new and you don't manage to do it on the first or second try, then you're gonna think like, it's not for me, or it's something is wrong here because I cannot manage it from my first try. Well, in reality, maybe you just cannot manage it from the first try because you're not that special, and it's okay to not manage it from the first try. And also, what I want you to remember is that all our emotions are normal, completely normal. And all of our needs are also completely normal. So, if, for example, you felt angry at some point, this is normal. Everyone feels anger. If somebody tells me that they never feel angry, it makes me think that there is something wrong with their, I don't know, with their internal life, because it's not possible. Everyone feels some feelings, both negative and positive. And actually, anger is not a negative feeling. Anger means that someone is crossing your boundary, or someone is invading your space in some way, or you perceive it to be so, so you need to act to change it. So all emotions are normal. Everyone feels anger at some point. Everyone feels shame at some point. Everyone feels insecure at some point. Everyone feels shy at some point. Everybody makes mistakes. Nobody is that super special or talented. And emotions are present in everyone. The only difference is, do you accept them and understand them, or do you try to pretend that they don't exist? This is the only difference. So this is rule number one, and rule number two is needs are basically almost the same for everyone. Everyone wants to feel important for others and themselves in some things. Everyone wants to feel competent. Everyone wants to feel approved of by other people. And these ideas that independent people don't need approval, independent people don't need to feel appreciated, and so on. This is bullshit. Everyone has those needs. So having those needs is not selfish. Having those needs is not bad per se. It's just normal. Everyone wants to be approved. Everyone wants to be loved. Everyone wants to get some kind of sense of control over their life, let's say. The only difference is which strategies you use to meet these needs. So some people want to feel important, and to feel important they might abuse someone else. or other people want to feel important and they want to do something good for others to feel this way. So the difference is only in strategies, but basic needs are all the same for people. Why I'm saying this is that if you feel a need to feel, for example, important, it doesn't mean that you are like a narcissistic person per se. Or if you feel a need to be approved of, it doesn't mean that you are dependent on others to, I don't know, something else. These are normal needs, everybody has them. And if you have a need to satisfy, I don't know, your own needs, this doesn't mean you're selfish. It's normal as well. So having different needs is normal. And what we should target is not the needs that we have, but rather the strategies we use to realize these needs. Why I'm paying so much attention here is that, for example, your parent was labeling you as selfish, or your parent was labeling you as selfless and so nice because you were doing everything for others. All those are also harmful labels. And then we go into number 3 here is about trauma, about clinical kind of like, when we take some emotions and we generalize them again and say like, or of course I cannot do it, I am traumatized, or of course I cannot do it, I am depressed, or of course I cannot do it, I am something else. I'm not saying that it's always harmful. In some ways it can be helpful. Like, for example, if you lived your life not knowing you're autistic and then you found it out, it can be like a big relief for you to understand finally what is going on. At the same time, if, for example, you explain each mistake or each failure you had in something as you being traumatized or you being broken in some way, it is a self-limiting belief. So there is like this thin balance, thin line between actually accepting your own limitations, and these limitations are realistic, like saying I'm autistic, I need a different adaptation system than most other people, or I have ADHD, I have to adapt myself in this and this way, or I have a depression, so I need to pay attention to some things more than other people. This is one side, but on the other side, diagnosis or I like past traumas or your inability to control an impulse or your way of behaviors should not become your character traits and like your definition of yourself. Like um, saying that I am an impulsive person, or I am an unstable person, or I am traumatized, or I am insane. This way you're limiting yourself to this definition, and it's much more difficult to learn any new behaviors. Instead, I suggest you say something like, yes, I had some trauma in my past life, in my in my past, and this can influence my present, but still there are many things that I can influence in my present as well. Or saying that, yes, I have depression, but it does not define me as a person. In addition to depression, I have many other like interests in life, things in which I, at least in the past, used to get pleasure, and so on and so on. Instead of saying I am impulsive, tell yourself that I didn't get this habit to tolerate discomfort and to slow down when taking decisions. So I got used to acting impulsively, but it does not define me as a person. Our brain can develop at any age and develop new skill wonderfully. So maybe I'm not impulsive. Instead, I have habit for impulsivity, and I can change this habit for something new. So here it's like this tricky line of accepting your limitations, but not making them overly powerful, you know. So yes, it's very important. And it's very important that you can at the same time recognize and validate your limitations, but also try to learn new ways to behave and new ways of being and so on. Yes, hopefully I described it all correctly so that you can understand it. And your home task today is writing down the labels that you learned about yourself in your childhood, in your teenage years, in your adult life, and then challenging these labels, asking yourself in which situations did I behave differently. Because I promise you, our life is too varied and is too complex to only behave in a certain way during all of our life. No. Even if you believe yourself to be an impulsive person, there will be some situations in which you did not act impulsively. Even if you believe yourself to be shy, there will be situations in which you were not shy. I promise, there is always some exception. So you just look for it and you find it and you debunk this idea that some emotions are your character traits. Emotions, just emotions. Everybody has emotions. Everybody has their needs. Having your own needs doesn't make you selfish. Feeling angry doesn't make you an angry person, and so on and so on. Emotions are fine. Everybody has them. Yeah, and I hope I'll see you soon. Um, and emotions are fine, everybody has them. Needs are fine, everybody has them. The difference between people is not if they feel or not feel emotions, is not if they have or not have these needs. The difference is often the way they choose to act. Like if I feel sad and if I have a need for um, love and attention, I might try to manipulate and hurt someone else so that they pay attention to me, or I might try to go and ask for attention. Okay, so the needs and emotions are same, but ways of behavior and strategies we use to get these needs met are different. And I will have more about this topic, especially in my communication skills playlist, so please check it out. And as you know, the biggest thank you is if you share my channel in your social networks with your friends, relatives, and so on, so that more people can find my content, which I believe is very useful. And I see you in the next video. Bye bye.